Hi, this is James Garden, the CineTechGeek, and I'm here with Bram at NAB 2016. And there's a lot of, because of high dynamic range, there's a lot of talk about monitors and the capability of monitors, because really the monitor is really one of the key aspects of doing all this new high dynamic range and all these new color spaces coming out. So he is probably one of the best men at this show to actually discuss all these. There's a lot of things being said, being talked about, and I wanted to get some clear understanding of what's happening with 2084 and hybrid log gamma, and fantastic discussions with Bram. But before we get into that, let's talk about the new products and what you're doing this year.
Sure.
So we'll start with I think the BoxIO, which seems to generate a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And so, from my perspective, fantastic box because it allows you to potentially use domestic screens as client monitors, being properly able to profile and generate exactly what you want for those monitors, even for potentially using them for when high dynamic range ones come out, etc., and moving forward with that. So tell me, how's the reception of that new box?
So it's been great, we really built it for both post-production and production applications. And like you said, we've really taken into account a lot of these upcoming technologies. So one thing that we have immediately is 12-bit support on all the inputs. So 12-bit in, 12-bit out on the display port, on the serial digital, doesn't matter, in and out, 12-bit support, which is important when you start getting into these some of these high dynamic range workflows where 12-bit can actually be a big help.
That's right.
So another thing, 33-sided LUT support, 4K support as well. We can do 4K P30 on a single box in and out. You can actually gang two boxes together for 4K P60 or 4K P30 at 444 as well,
fantastic.
Which is kind of neat. And then the other thing is Ethernet connectivity. One reason we want to do Ethernet connectivity, seems like a simple thing, but that instead of USB, although we have USB as well, is that you can connect over Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and that's going to mean the box never becomes obsolete. If you walk around the show floor, you'll see a lot of older boxes, LUT boxes that are now out of date, and the companies aren't writing drivers for El Cap or other new operating systems. This thing, as long as there's Wi-Fi or Ethernet, you will always be able to connect in any operating system with whatever applications you're using. Applications I'm talking about are things like PalmFort for onset, for live grade. We integrate with QTake now as well, with their new grade module for on-set applications. And then, of course, for calibration, SpectraCal's CalMan and Light Illusion's Lightspace CMS. You can actually connect to those via Ethernet, generate test batches directly from BoxIO, so you don't need a separate test signal generator. And then those programs can then store that LUT directly onto the box. Again, 33-sided LUT support, so you get very accurate calibration, 12-bit in and out, and that allows you to, as you said, you can calibrate professional downstream displays that may not have built-in LUT support. You can also calibrate consumer devices. That's actually one of the things we're showing at the booth is we're calibrating one of the most notoriously non-linear displays with a very large patch sequence and a 33-sided LUT, and it does a very good job of at least getting it in the ballpark. So you have a client monitor, for example, they'll match your master reference grading monitor, because we realize, as much as we would want everybody to always buy nothing but professional displays, there are applications where cost is an issue and you're just going to buy the consumer version. Let's at least get that consumer version to look half decent and to be in the ballpark so that the client in the room is looking at the same thing that you're seeing essentially on your reference monitor.
And that's extremely important, especially in this new, I'd call it this, we're in a time of transition and a bit of time, because of the high dynamic range, time of transition and a lot of rough around the edge sort of stuff going on. And having a box with that sort of capability and these new, it's going to be very common, I can imagine, in the future, that places are going to get a nice domestic high dynamic range monitors are very cost effective, and they're going to plop them in front of the client as a client monitor. And this is exactly what you need, because you need that monitor to look as close as the master monitor as the grader is using as possible. And with a box like this and the right tools, the right CMSs, you can achieve that as best as possible could be achieved.
Absolutely, and that's the whole goal, is to like I said, right now we see a lot of people trying to use manual controls and things like that, or applying LUTs in their grading systems, which then takes processing power away from your system. This is a real nice, clean system, gives you test signal generator and LUT box all in one. There's other things it can do too. It has some advanced features like frame grab capabilities, and we're really just scratching the surface of what BoxIO is capable of. There's a lot more coming with that device. It has a very powerful processor inside, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of cool new features coming for that very soon. So.
Fantastic. Now we'll move on to the next item.
Sure.